What's up, everybody, and welcome to a new video. It's been quite some time since I've made some content here on YouTube / Instagram, but I've been really wanting to get back into it and create content videos about action figures, toys, things that I'm really excited about. You know, we've been getting a lot of really cool stuff this past year with the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, with all the new content for Obi-Wan, or Kenobi, I guess the show's called, Book of Boba Fett. We've started getting a lot of great play sets. I mean, the throne room play set, and then you have all the new figures that have come out, you know, with that, as well as Ahsoka. You know, we've gotten a lot of great figures with that collection as well. And so what I wanted to do is create my top 10. I always tend to do this around this time of the year. My top 10 vintage collection figures. And obviously it was really hard to make this because I think this year is probably some of the best figures that we've seen in the vintage collection line alone. So a lot of these figures were, you know, either my favorite characters or just ones that I thought, you know, really did a great job with new sculpts or mechanics or the ways that the articulation works on these figures as well. So enjoy the video, and let's get started with number 10. All right, so starting off at number 10, and I got this really great new stage, I guess you can say. Coming in at number 10 is Admiral Piett. So I'm going to zoom in on the figures as we talk a little bit about them. So Admiral Piett is going to be number 10, and it's mainly because the new body that they did for the Imperials is absolutely amazing. It's been quite some time since we've had anything like this in a figure, and I think, you know, the figure itself is just so great. I love Imperials. I love having them on the shelf. Because we also got, I always say his name wrong. I think it's Jeragod or Jerahad or something of that nature from Return of the Jedi. So now we have, you know, 2 Imperials. I know they also have the 4-pack. I haven't purchased that yet. But, you know, eventually once that goes on sale, I'll probably pick that up so I can add into the Imperial ranks. But I love it. I think it's just a great figure. You know, I'd love anything Imperial related. I know we're getting director credit fairly soon. I have Thrawn, and I'm hoping, you know, with this that they also, you know, fill in the others like General Veers, maybe do another Thrawn from Rebels. I'm sure they're going to do the Ahsoka one, maybe, you know, something different there. I don't really know how you can make him different from the one that we got from the Rebels one, you know. But the one from Rebels that I think would be really cool if they did do one would be like with the armor that he wear in season 3. So we'll see what they get. But, you know, number 10 is definitely going to be Admiral Piett. Coming in at number 9 is going to be my boy, big old fat Bib Fortuna. I think this figure is so awesome. I did have him for a while sitting in the throne, but then he got dethroned by Boba Fett himself. I think this figure, just in terms of detail, is just absolutely amazing. The amount of work that probably went into creating this guy and making him just look just so great. The work on the face is just, I mean, look at that. Just absolutely amazing. The Lekku is just so well sculpted and detailed. The cloth goods are just great on this figure. The accessories that he came with too, just because he came with the throne room, was great. So you know, you can give him the cup. He has his staff. I just love him. I love the original Bib Fortuna too. So having the chunky one is just so fun to, you know, add on to the collection. So number 9 is definitely going to be my big boy Bib Fortuna. Coming in at number 8 is the Jedi Survivor Cal Kestis. And here's BD as well. I love Cal Kestis. I love the Jedi Survivor game. This Cal is so great. I'm so happy we finally got a Cal in the vintage collection. You know, I'm primarily a Black Series collector, but I know that this has really been one that the vintage collection fans have been wanting for some time. So I'm happy for them and for myself, obviously, right? Since I collect vintage collection, that we do have a Cal Kestis figure for the shelf, because we have been getting a lot of great figures. You know, enemies, you know, the Purge Trooper, the Magna Guard, the Scout Trooper. I think there's the KX droid. Then there's the heavy artillery trooper, etc. So really great to have, you know, some new figures. But Cal is just great. I love Cal. I think he's just a great figure altogether. Oh man, he is not standing back there. I think it kind of, this thing kind of droops in the back there, so that might be what's going on. So we'll put him over here. But he's just a fantastic figure, great looking, and there goes Bib. So I'm really happy to add him to the collection, and I just think his articulation's fantastic too. So you know, you got those just that adds on to the playability of the figure as well. Coming in at, let's see, that's 7, is the Sabine. The Sabine figure from Ahsoka. This was a deluxe. Now, I obviously, like everyone else, have my problems with this figure. The helmet is way too big. It looks stupid. It looks so goofy when you have that helmet on. But the figure itself is so perfect, and that's what sucks, I think, the most. The articulation is so good. The likeness looks fantastic. The figure is just so good. The paint apps, all of it. But then you put this helmet on, and it just looks so goofy. So I'm just really upset that they didn't just do what they've done for the rest of the Mandalorian figures, where they did the swappable head, the unhelmeted and helmeted, because I think that just would have just killed it. That would have just been perfect. You would have been fine. But instead they just did this helmet, and it just doesn't look good. And that, I think, was what kind of put this figure down further, is the really bad helmet there. So next up at number 6, I think we're at 6, right? Because that's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Yep, is Thrawn. So there we go. I love Thrawn. I was so happy that we got Thrawn, and I did back the Ghost, so I'm really excited to have the Ghost and the whole Rebels crew coming out. So, you know, having Thrawn is a must-have then if you're having that, and this is probably one of the best Thrawn figures I've ever seen in my life. I have the original Thrawn that was in a comic pack, so this is just like putting it to shame. I mean, this head, come on, there we go, is absolutely amazing. And I know it's the Rebels Thrawn, but it doesn't really matter because they made him realistic. But this just looks so good. Having a Thrawn on the shelf just makes everything so much better, because he's just probably one of the best villains in Star Wars compared to Darth Vader. It's probably Darth Vader, Thrawn, and then the Emperor, in my opinion. Because I think Thrawn, just as a strategist and just a villain, is just so well written. He's just so well done, and I really do love him as a character. Coming in at number 5 and starting us off is the big bad himself, the Clone Trooper. He's not only a bad guy, he's a good guy. The new clone is great. It's a fantastic figure. It has great articulation. It has great sculpt details. I love, you know, posing these guys in different ways. I feel like, you know, Hasbro does a great job with, you know, rebuilding and kind of perfecting the army troopers. And I felt like it was only a matter of time until we just got the clean, shiny, basic clone trooper, since they were doing a lot of 501st, and I think they did some other random guys recently as well. But I knew we were going to eventually get one, and then when I saw him in Andor, I was like, okay, it's kind of a no-brainer that we will be getting the just basic clone soon enough. And I'm so happy we did, because I needed some new Phase 2 clones for the shelf. I only had, in terms of just, you know, basic, no affiliation to a different clone troop, just the original episode 3 ones that came. So it was really cool to finally get some to, you know, round out the rankings and clean it up there. So then we have Clone Troop at number 5. And then at number figure out who I want to put who. 4, we have Paz Vizsla. I love this figure. I think they did such a good job with this. The articulation, the detail, the sculpt. Oh, his knife fell out of his hand. I love how he comes with the energy shield, so you can, you know, recreate the scenes from Book of Boba Fett with him, and Mandalorian Season 3, but we need some Praetorian Guards. But he's just such a great figure. He's so bulky and big on the shelf, which he should be, right? But I love him. I think the paint apps and details that they did for him are just fantastic. He's just a great figure. They did such a good job on these bigger figures this year, and you'll see, you know, I have another one coming up next. But I think they did a really great job with Paz. I'm going to actually move the camera this way so you can see him. In so many different ways. I really think Paz, in my personal opinion, is such a great figure just because they were able to take this big scale Mandalorian and make him small, but also keep so many of the features that made him so great at the smaller scale. And that's what I think kind of what I like the most about the Bib Fortuna and this next figure that we're going to reposition here is Chrysanthemum, Black Chrysanthemum. This figure is amazing. This is probably, it was so hard for these next 3 to figure out who's going to be 1 and who's going to be 2. Actually, 1 was easy, but between 2 and 3, this was really hard. Chrysanthemum is amazing. This figure is so well sculpted. This is the deluxe one that I think was a HasCon. No, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. This figure has the best detail ever. And he's so bulky. I think he's better. Like the Black Series one, don't get me wrong, is amazing. But this one is so cool. Like, look at that face. Look at the arms, the little electric knuckles. Just all really good sculpting detail. Great overall, just a fantastic figure. He just looks so good. And it's so cool because I have him, you know, posed in the what's it called? The throne room playset, and it just makes him look so fun, so cool. You know, just chilling back there, and you know, I love stuff like that. I think, you know, when they do figures like this and they add, you know, playability and features to it, I think that's what makes them the best. Next up at number 2 is one of my personal favorites that I've been so excited for, and that's Darth Raven. I have the original one. I purchased the original Darth Raven a while back, and that figure is just, it's hard to look at. The helmet, not the helmet, but the hood comes off, and it's really weird because then he has like a really weird bald-in head that doesn't really work for him. This one is just amazing. The sculpt detail. I actually have the Jedi Raven 2-pack Galaxy of Heroes, I think, coming in the mail probably this week. It just shipped, so I'm really excited to see what that one looks. But the Darth Raven look, I think, is just the best. It's so iconic. It's the one everyone knows for those of us that, you know, played the game. And, you know, that was a game that I grew up with, was Knights of the Old Republic. So, you know, having a Darth Raven with my Malak and my Bastila and Nihilus just looks so great. And I love these KOTOR figures that we can get. So I hope they redo, you know, like they did for Black Series, Nihilus and Bastila. So then, you know, you have updated versions of them too for the collection. And then coming in at number 1, it was kind of a no-brainer. It's the new Darth Vader. I have both of them just because they're just the best figure ever made. Now, this one is the Obi-Wan Kenobi one. So they're just like the basic Vader. The articulation is amazing on this Vader. I didn't think they could make Vader any better. I did not include the Return of the Jedi one just because I do have some complaints with the way the helmet stays on. And his arm constantly is falling off when I'm trying to repose him. But this Vader, the Obi-Wan one, is just amazing. The articulation, the detail, the helmet is like perfect. It's probably the best helmet sculpt of a Vader I've ever seen in my life. I love this figure so much. I'm constantly, reposing them, replaying with them. And then this one, the one that we got for the 2-pack, the duel. I mean, this sculpting, you can actually take off the helmet, which is so great too. and see that, which is so cool. But I love these figures. I love anything Darth Vader, so anything Darth Vader that I can get in my collection is always like something I'm excited about. But having these different, you know, variations of the same figure, but also kind of just different changes to it makes me, you know, very excited for different features and stuff like that, and playability and displaying. So, but that is my top 10. You know, I think it's a great array of different media, different characters, different, you know, ways they all look, etc. So I think it's a great collection of different figures and the ways that they do things. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll kind of cut over to the outro. So thanks so much for watching this video. As I said, this is my top 10 for Vintage Collection. I am going to be recording my top 10 for Black Series. I know I kind of did fast and didn't really do a lot of cuts or things like that. That's not really my style. I kind of make these videos to just be, you know, watch them at your leisure if you want. Like, excuse me, I don't really do it as in a, hey, like this needs to be watched. You know, I do this for money or monetization or anything of that nature. This is for fun. So, you know, I don't really expect people to watch a 60-minute video and be like, oh, wow, this is really interesting. Like, he has so much to say about these figures. So appreciate everyone and anyone that took the time to watch the video. Provide me with your thoughts. Let me know what your top favorite Vintage Collection figures of this year were. I'd love to hear, you know, from everyone out there and which ones were your favorites. So look out for the Black Series figures that I'm going to be posting, hopefully within the same day. But as always, may the Force be with you and enjoy your holidays. Thanks.